I am famous for being the reincarnation of the god of bad luck. Even a stray dog passing by would trip and fall over my cursed aura. My absolute best friend, the guy the first grew up with since childhood, got tricked into joining a scam ring in northern Myanmar. You gotta come save me, man. To save him, I charged straight into the scam compound all by myself, basically offering myself up on a silver platter. On my very first day inside, the low-level boss assigned to watch me tripped on flat ground and literally shattered his bones. On day 2, the supervisor forced me into the computer lab to learn how to run romance scams. Yeah, learning how to run romance scams. But the second my finger brushed the keyboard, the entire compound's network crashed completely, and the power transformer exploded right then and there. Flames shot up into the sky. On day 3, not only did the big boss spare me from the blame, he actually called me into his office, saying he had some questions for me. But the exact moment he got close to me, a ceiling fan suddenly snapped off from above and sliced him right into a eunuch. The whole place was thrown into utter chaos, with walls collapsing and buildings crumbling down. Exactly 1 month later, the head scammer voluntarily dialed the police hotline back home, sobbing his absolute heart out. "Officer, I am begging you, please come take this living nightmare away. Take him and his damn buddy too. We surrender." Inside the office at the compound, the manager, Cobra, gripped the phone receiver for dear life, his face pale with panic. "Hello? Hello? Don't hang up, officer. I am dead serious. I really am a scammer. I want to turn myself in. I have over 200 scam victims trapped here, and I will confess to everything. I just have one single request. You guys need to send a private jet right now. No, send a freaking rocket over. And get this walking curse named Zhang Feng out of here. The sooner, the better. We will pay double for the travel expenses." A stern voice came from the other end of the line. "Sir, impersonating a scammer to file a false police report is illegal. And if you are going to make up a story, at least make it believable. A scammer begging to buy plane tickets for their victims? Do you think we are idiots?" The line went dead with a busy tone. Damn it, Cobra grabbed the landline phone and smashed it fiercely onto the floor. Pieces of the phone flew straight into an electrical socket. Bright blue spark flashed, and, bang, the huge fish tank completely shattered. Several expensive arowana fish flopped wildly on the wet floor as Cobra leapt onto his leather sofa, staring down at the absolute disaster. "See? I sat in the chair across from him, casually holding a cup of tea. I told you so. I have the ultimate bad luck curse. I am basically a walking jinx of catastrophic proportions. But you guys just refused to believe me. And now you are desperately trying to turn yourselves in? Well, look at you now. Even the police think you are insulting their intelligence." Cobra whipped his head around, his eyes completely bloodshot. "In just 3 days, I try to get some ice water, and the damn ice maker explodes. I try to use the bathroom, and the sewage floods the entire cafeteria. I try to watch some TV, and the satellite dish crashes straight through the finance room." Zhang Feng. Cobra gritted his teeth in sheer rage, his hand reaching down for his waist. He wanted to pull his gun, but he hesitated for a second. He shrank back again. Cobra took a deep, heavy breath. "Fine, you don't want to leave? Then you're staying right here. Guards, throw this bastard into the water dungeon. Throw him in the very bottom level. There's nothing down there but rotting mud and dead bodies. Let's see if you can tear my compound apart from down there. Lock him up until he rots." Suddenly, the door was kicked open. Mad Dog, missing an eye and leaning on a crutch, stormed in with a few thugs. "Boss, leave him to me. This little punk broke my leg. Before he goes to the dungeon, I'm gonna collect some interest." "Mad Dog, don't mess around. Just take him away." Cobra tried to stop him. I just sighed. I put down my teacup. "Mad Dog, bro, if I were you, I really wouldn't swing that whip. Cut the freaking crap. I'm gonna whip that jinxing mouth of yours right off your face." Mad Dog wound up his arm, and the leather whip slashed viciously toward my face. I didn't even flinch. I just looked at him with pity. Crack. The tip of the whip snagged on the crystal chandelier above. The hook snapped. The chandelier plummeted, smashing directly onto Mad Dog's head. Without even a chance to scream, Mad Dog was buried under shattered glass and twisted metal. His legs, sticking out of the wreckage, twitched twice, and then went completely still. The office fell dead silent. The thugs stood frozen, jaws dropping to the floor. Cobra jumped up on the sofa, his face pale as a ghost. He pointed at the door. Get him out of here, now. This guy is a freaking monster. Don't touch him. Use the riot forks. Keep your distance. Absolute chaos broke out. A squad of guys in hazmat suits pinned me with 2-meter-long poles, shoving me right out of the office. Right before I left, I waved at Cobra. Hey, don't forget to fix the fish tank. Electrical leaks are super dangerous. Behind me, I heard Cobra roaring in pure rage, followed immediately by another massive crash. The water dungeon was located on basement level 3. The iron door swung open, and a sickening stench of rot hit me in the face. Get in there. The guard jabbed me with the pole, pushing me into the pitch-black water pit. He instantly locked the door and bolted. Filthy water flooded past my knees. I steadied myself. From the corner, a faint voice whimpered. Brother Feng. The voice sounded incredibly familiar. I whipped my head around. In the dim light bleeding in from the hallway, I made out a figure huddled in the corner. It was Lin Xiao. Once bright and proud Lin Xiao was now shivering in the sewage. He was covered in gashes, his face beaten so badly I could barely recognize him. His hands were in a death grip around half a moldy steamed bun. A furious fire erupted in my chest. Lin Xiao. Tears stung my eyes. I rushed over and grabbed him by the shoulders. Lin Xiao clutched my arms, sobbing uncontrollably. Why are you so stupid? Didn't I tell you to call the cops? Who told you to come here alone? They're gonna kill you. I did call them. The police said cross-border raids take time. I gently patted his back. I was worried you wouldn't make it until then, so I came to check on you. What good is you being here? You're just throwing your life away. Lin Xiao sobbed even harder. Hey, don't be scared. I wiped the grime off his face. I've got superpowers, remember? Lin Xiao froze for a second, probably remembering all the crazy stuff that's happened around me since we were kids. Like during our middle school anniversary, when the principal made me go on stage. And the second I opened my mouth, the entire stage completely caved in. Or in high school, when I wanted to pull an all-nighter at the cyber cafe, but before I even walked in, the place got raided by the cops. But this time is different. They're armed. Lin Xiao pointed desperately at the guards outside the iron bars. There were a few other guys locked up in the flooded pit with us. One guy with a busted leg, named Ah Chang, got scammed here from a construction site. And a college kid with glasses named Chen Feng, who got tossed in for missing his coding quotas. They just stared at me, totally numb. Not a single spark of hope left in their eyes. Ah Chang leaned back against the wall, his voice rough and raspy. Save your breath, newbie. Once you're in the tank, you're just waiting to croak. See those loose wires up there? The second these goons get in a bad mood, they'll flip the switch and fry us all like fish. I looked up at the sketchy, dangling cables, let out a sigh, and looked dead seriously at Ah Chang. Look, man, don't be such a downer. Speaking from personal experience, if they actually try to shock us, odds are the transformer will blow up first. Or the guy pulling the switch will get zapped instead. Honestly, anyone out to get me usually bites the dust way before I do. Ah Chang stared at me like I was completely out of my mind. But right on cue, the iron grate above us swung open, and a totally wasted guard stumbled in. He unzipped his pants, getting ready to relieve himself right on us. Drink up, you filthy pigs. Enjoy my special brew. Ah Chang and Chen Feng were furious but too terrified to make a sound. Forced to just lower their heads in humiliation, Lin Xiao turned ghost white, scrambling to hide behind my back. I frowned, glaring up at that creep in absolute disgust. And then, a split second later, a horrific shriek ripped through the dead of night. Ah, stuck. The zipper caught it. The guard jerked his hand in panic, dropping his booze bottle right onto his toe. He completely lost his footing, and took a massive nosedive straight down. Splash. He crashed right next to those dangling wires. The splash hit the exposed cables, sparking an explosion of blue electricity. The guard started convulsing violently in the water, his eyes rolling to the back of his head. Thank God he landed pretty far from us, so by the time the current reached us, it was just a faint, tingly buzz. Lin Xiao and I didn't even get a scratch. But as for the guard, it barely took seconds before he started foaming at the mouth and completely blacked out, face down in the filthy muck, leaving a trail of pathetic little bubbles. The whole cell went dead silent. Ah Chang's jaw practically hit the floor, while Chen Feng shakily pushed up his crooked glasses, pointing a trembling finger at me. Did you do that too? I just threw my hands up, looking totally innocent. Hey, he brought that on himself. Karma always strikes back, huh? Well, isn't that instant karma? The guard passed out cold in the water. It felt good for a second, but it brought us some major trouble. It wasn't long before the next shift noticed something was wrong. They triggered the alarms immediately. Jailbreak, someone's breaking out, piercing sirens echoed through the entire compound. The iron door was violently kicked open, and a dozen glaring lights blinded us. It wasn't just the usual goons this time. The crowd parted. A middle-aged man in a traditional silk suit walked in, followed by Cobra. And a whole squad of armed mercenaries. This was the real mastermind of the compound, Boss Wei. Boss Wei looked at the guard in the water, then slowly looked at me. He cracked a smirk. His voice was raspy. Interesting. Fish him out of there. Take the rest of them to the yard outside. We were forcefully herded out. It was dead of night, but the whole compound was lit up like day. Hundreds of captives were violently woken up and dragged around the yard. Forced to watch this public execution, Boss Wei sat back in a heavy wooden armchair, toying with a solid gold Desert Eagle pistol. I am a man who heavily believes in fate, but I also don't buy into it at all. I hear you're the god of bad luck reincarnated, and that you've cursed several of my brothers to death. I stood there in the freezing wind, shielding Lin Xiao behind my back, staring dead into his eyes. Boss Wei, there are some things in this world that you're better off believing in than risking your life ignoring. Boss Wei burst into maniacal laughter, then suddenly stopped, his face turning ice cold. What absolute bullshit. Here in northern Myanmar, I am the goddamn sky. He violently waved his hand. Two mercenaries rushed forward and viciously grabbed Lin Xiao from behind me. Let go of me, Feng, help me. Lin Xiao struggled desperately. Back off. Just as I was about to rush them, two cold gun barrels were instantly jammed against my forehead. Boss Wei yanked Lin Xiao by the hair, pressing his gun tight against his temple. Zhang Feng, is it? Boss Wei sneered at me, his finger resting heavy on the trigger. Aren't you supposed to be a walking curse? Come on, curse another one, let me see it. Because I'm about to blow away this little buddy of yours right now. Let's see if your bad luck is faster, or my goddamn bullet. Lin Xiao's face was dead pale, tears streaming silently down his cheeks. Feng, don't worry about me. Run. Watching this nightmare unfold, I clenched my fists tight. Boss Wei, I took a deep, trembling breath, forcing myself to stay absolutely calm. Your beef is with me alone. It might be a curse, but I'm a reasonable man. If you want blood, take mine. Let him go. You have no right to negotiate with me. Get on your damn knees. He fired a deafening shot into the air. I said kneel, or the next bullet blows his brains out. No, Feng, keep your pride. A man's dignity is worth more than gold. Don't you dare kneel to this scum. Beat him down. The mercenary next to him smashed the butt of his rifle hard against Lin Xiao's back. Lin Xiao spat out a mouthful of blood and collapsed to the ground. Lin Xiao, I roared, my eyes wide with pure rage. I'll kneel. I gritted my teeth, bending my knees, as long as it could save Lin Xiao's life. Dignity didn't mean a damn thing. I raised my head, staring dead at Boss Wei, my eyes freezing cold. But Boss Wei, I really didn't want to kneel. My kneel is more than you can bear. It'll cost you your damn life. My knees smashed heavily into the floor. In that exact moment, it felt like some invisible shackle had snapped open. Look at this, the damn Jinx is actually on his knees. Boss Wei laughed maniacally. What bullshit karmic law, what lone star of death. In the face of my guns. You still have to be my obedient little dog. The surrounding mercenaries and thugs erupted into roaring laughter. Boss Wei, since I've kneeled, then this matter. I fought back the overwhelming disgust in my chest. I had just opened my mouth to ask him to let Lin Xiao go. Who the hell told you to speak? Boss Wei's face suddenly turned vicious. He raised his foot and stomped hard on my shoulder. Caught completely off guard, I was kicked flat onto the ground. Before I could even try to get back up, he planted his boot directly onto the side of my face. Wanna save your guy? Fine. Boss Wei looked down at me with contempt. That kneel just now was to apologize to my brothers. Now, you're going to bow to me. Make it loud, and I just might consider letting your buddy suffer a little less. No, Brother Feng, don't listen to him. He's a damn animal. He's never going to let us go. Lin Xiao was pinned down hard by two massive thugs, unable to move a single muscle. Looking at Lin Xiao's bloody face not too far away, even knowing full well this bastard was lying to me, I still couldn't afford to take that risk. Fine, I pressed both hands against the ground and slowly pushed my upper body up. Then, I slammed my forehead heavily into the floor. Not loud enough. Haven't you eaten? Boss Wei dug at his ear with a mocking sneer. Thump, thump, 2 heavy hits. A blinding pain shot through my forehead. Warm blood trailed down my brow bone, turning my entire vision a dark, bloody red. Keep going, don't stop. You don't get to stop until I say so. Boss Wei laughed hysterically. He turned around. What are you idiots staring at? Get your phones out and record this. Send it to those ignorant little piglets. Let them see exactly what happens when they cross me. I mechanically repeated the motion of slamming my head down, again and again, until I collapsed, blacking out on the floor. Alright, enough. What a freaking buzzkill. Suddenly, Boss Wei delivered a brutal kick right to my ribs. Snap. I heard the sickening sound of bone cracking. The agonizing pain made my entire body curl up instantly. I'm getting bored of this anyway. Boss Wei grabbed a cigar. He took a deep drag, and then flicked the burning hot cigarette butt right onto the back of my hand. The agony made my veins bulge out, but I didn't let out a single sound. I just glared at him, dead in the eye. That stare made Boss Wei extremely uncomfortable. Damn it, your look is bad luck. I was going to keep you around to play with a bit longer. But now it looks like you really have a death wish. He waved his hand. Bring the gas barrels over. Since this punk is so damn stubborn, let's light these 2 brothers up like lanterns. Give the boys here some warmth. Lin Xiao closed his eyes in pure despair, like he had just accepted his fate. A few mercenaries laughed as they lifted the gas barrels. I struggled to prop myself up, and started laughing. My voice was completely hoarse. Boss Wei, I just bowed my head to you 9 times. 9 is the ultimate number. You've accepted my grand gesture. So our debt with the Grim Reaper is officially settled. Boss Wei froze for a second. Then he flew into a blind rage. You're at death's door and still acting like a psycho. Pour the gas. Douse them. 2 mercenaries hoisted up the barrels. Splash. The foul, stinging reek of gasoline soaked us to the bone. It burned like hell against my open wounds. At the exact same time, just to make sure I wouldn't fight back, dozens of mercenaries raised their rifles at us. Send them to hell. Boss Wei smirked as he sparked his lighter. In that split second between life and death, a slight smirk crept onto my face. Boss Wei tossed the lighter. It arched through the air, dropping straight toward our gas-soaked bodies. Flames roared into the sky, but the scorching heat didn't actually touch me. Instead, a massive shockwave launched me and Lin Xiao blasting through the air. I slammed hard into the mud. My ears were just ringing endlessly. I hacked out a couple of coughs, struggling to lift my heavy head. I saw Boss Wei and his goons blasted completely sideways, scattered all over the place. It turns out, of all the dumb luck in the world, that lighter had bounced right into an abandoned, leaking generator. And sitting right next to it, a whole crate of their grenades. Brother Feng, are we dead? Lin Xiao was lying face down next to me. His eyes were completely glazed over. We're not dead. Guess the Grim Reaper thought I was too much of a jinx. Probably scared I'd blow up hell too. So he refused to take us. I fought through the agonizing pain. I dragged Lin Xiao up and ran for it, booking it before those guys could snap out of it. I yanked Lin Xiao toward the dense woods deep inside the compound. Behind us, Boss Wei was screaming his lungs out. Catch them alive. I'm gonna rip them into a million pieces. Don't shoot. Watch your fire or you'll blow up our own men. You want us all to go up in a chain reaction? My heart sank. That old bastard was getting smart. But with the shape I was in, I couldn't run fast at all. Brother Feng, just leave me behind. You can make it out on your own. Lin Xiao was crying, trying to yank his hand away from mine. Shut up. The only thing I've got left in this cursed life of mine is my loyalty. If I leave you here to die, karma's gonna strike me down. Our only shot at losing them is going straight through the minefield outside the compound. This way. I pointed right at the warning sign with the skull and crossbones. That's a minefield. We'll be blown to pieces if we go in. Don't worry, according to the laws of probability, when I actually try to step on a mine, I usually miss. But the guys chasing us, well, that's a different story. I grabbed Lin Xiao and bolted into the minefield with my eyes shut. Behind us, dozens of thugs armed with machetes came charging after us aggressively. They went into the minefield. After them, Boss Wei roared from the back, whoever catches them gets a 1 million bounty. Money makes people do crazy things. Those thugs charged in with bloodshot eyes. Every step I took on that soft dirt had my heart right in my throat. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, safe, but right after that, deafening explosions went off behind us. Boom, screams echoed one after another. Those pursuers managed to accurately step on every single landmine. Boss Wei stood at the edge of the minefield, completely dumbfounded. This is cursed. Too freaking cursed. His hand holding the machete was trembling. His eyes were practically popping out of his head. I was stunned too. How does this cursed bad luck of mine work better than a bulletproof vest sometimes? Just when I thought we were safe for the moment, click, my foot froze. A sharp metallic click echoed from right under my sole. Lin Xiao's face turned deathly pale. Feng, did you just? I looked down at my feet. Great, just great. Turns out my luck is as consistent as ever. The guys chasing us stepped on regular landmines, while I managed to step on the only unexploded World War II aerial bomb fuse in this entire minefield. If I lift my foot, nothing will survive within a 50-meter radius. Lin Xiao's legs gave out, and he slumped onto the ground. My teeth were chattering as I stood frozen, balancing precariously on one leg. My face was completely stiff. Lin Xiao, just go. If this thing blows up, our ashes are gonna be mixed together. Your parents won't even be able to sort us out. I'm not leaving. If we die together. Are you an idiot? If you leave, I can at least take a gamble and dive out of the way. You staying here is just dying for nothing. Right while we were arguing back and forth, Boss Wei noticed my awkward position. He actually chuckled and sneaked around from the side. He didn't dare step into the minefield himself, but he had his men fetch a long bamboo pole with a sharp knife tied to the end. I'm not going over there. I'm just gonna play a little game. Boss Wei stood about 10 meters away and ordered his thugs, poke his leg for me. The second he flinches, we all go out with a bang. You lunatic, you'll be blown to pieces too. I'd gladly take it, better than going bankrupt because of you cursed freaks. We might as well all die together. The bamboo pole lunged straight at me. I couldn't move an inch. If my foot shifted by even a single millimeter, the fuse would trigger. The sharp blade pierced right into my calf, and a wave of agonizing pain washed over me. A shudder ran through my whole body, and my feet nearly slipped. Hold on, Brother Feng. Lin Xiao threw himself at him, grabbing the blade bare-handed. Blood poured down his fingers. Do it again, stab him to death. Boss Wei cackled like a maniac. Just as the second thrust was about to hit, the sky suddenly went pitch black. A massive gust of wind whipped up from nowhere, followed by the rumble of heavy thunder. I looked up at the sky, and surprisingly, felt a strange sense of comfort. God, are you finally here to take me? Crack! A bolt of lightning tore through the clouds, striking perfectly on the bamboo pole Boss Wei was holding up. The bamboo pole was soaking wet. The sharp knife was made of iron, and Boss Wei was highly conductive. He didn't even get the chance to scream. His whole body glowed blue, every single hair standing straight up on end. Puffing black smoke from his mouth, Boss Wei fell over backwards, stiff as a board. His body violently twitched. The aftershock of the lightning bolt rattled the ground beneath us. The old unexploded bomb under my feet seemed to shift loose from the intense vibration. I have no idea where I found the strength, but I wildly tackled Lin Xiao right into a crater. Boom! A massive fireball erupted into the sky, and everything went completely black. I lost total consciousness. By the time I finally woke up, I found myself strapped tight to an icy surgical table. You're awake. A chilling voice came from behind a surgical mask. I turned my head, and saw a guy in a white coat. He was holding a scalpel, casually wiping the blood off it. This was the most terrifying place in the compound, the medical bay. The legendary slaughterhouse for organ harvesting. Where's Lin Xiao? I rasped, my throat completely dry. That kid? He's way luckier than you. The general said he's still got some use. He's in a truck heading to the back mountain right now. I let out a massive sigh of relief. But immediately after, pure dread washed over me. I'm warning you, don't do this. Begging won't save you. No, I'm doing this for your own good. If you make that cut, I'm afraid this operating room of yours won't survive. The doctor froze for a second, then burst into hysterical laughter. Oh, that's hilarious. I'm a strict materialist, and the best damn surgeon in this place. My hands are rock solid. I highly doubt that slicing your belly open will make a ghost pop out and bite me. Right as he said that, the massive surgical light above him completely detached without warning. smashing perfectly into the doctor's spine. He let out a blood-curdling scream. I just sighed. I literally told you so. I was honestly trying to warn you. You're a goddamn monster. The doctor choked out, right before his eyes rolled back in his head. And he passed out cold. By the time I unstrapped myself and crawled out of the room, the entire medical bay had devolved into absolute chaos. Fire. The oxygen tanks blew up. Run. That cursed freak got out. Well, it seemed my deadly reputation had already spread through the whole compound. I had to go find Lin Xiao. That doctor said they took him to the villa on the back mountain. That place is the residence of the general, the top boss of the compound. Word is, the guy actually keeps a pet tiger. A ruthless man-eater that devours people whole, without even spitting out the bones. Dragging my busted leg, I hijacked one of their patrol golf carts. A few guards raised their guns to stop me, but I just slammed the gas pedal too. The metal, don't shoot, careful your guns don't blow up in your faces. The guards hesitated for a split second, and in that brief moment of hesitation, I smashed right through the checkpoint. But because I was so freaked out, I jerked the steering wheel way too hard, and the cart spun completely out of control. The back end slammed hard into a fire hydrant, sending a massive, high-pressure geyser shooting up into the sky. It completely blasted the guards who were trying to rush me, knocking them flat on their backs. And just like that, trailing sparks and total chaos, I made it all the way to the villa on the back mountain. The entrance to the villa was heavily guarded. There was absolutely no way in. Just when I was about to lose all hope, I looked up and saw the second-floor balcony. Lin Xiao was being backed into a corner by this fat guy in a military uniform. Hey there, pretty boy. What's so great about following Boss Wei? Stick with me, the general, and you'll live like a king. Get away from me, don't come any closer. Lin Xiao yelled, clutching a vase in his hands. Haha, I actually like them feisty. Lin Xiao, I screamed from down below. But I still couldn't get in. The entrance was blocked by two massive, heavy iron gates. Plus, there were two vicious pit bulls tied to chains. The moment they saw me, they started barking wildly and charged right at me. I was completely desperate. Get out of my way. I roared at the top of my lungs at those dogs, and then, something totally miraculous happened. The very second they got close to me, the two dogs tripped and tumbled into a messy ball. Their iron chains got completely tangled up, and they ended up choking themselves out until their eyes rolled back in their heads. The impact of the dogs actually knocked the iron gates open just a crack, so I squeezed through and dashed into the villa. But right there in the first floor lobby was a gigantic Bengal tiger resting on the floor. Seeing an intruder, the tiger lazily stood up and opened its massive, terrifying jaws. Letting out an absolute earth-shattering roar, my legs completely gave out on me, and I almost dropped to my knees. Oh crap, my bad luck powers probably don't work on animals, do they? It's a literal beast. The tiger started stalking toward me, step by terrifying step. I squeezed my eyes shut. I am totally dead this time. But right at the exact moment the tiger pounced. Boom, a massive explosion ripped through the air outside the villa. It turned out, that golf cart I drove in on had a short circuit in the battery from the crash, and completely blew up. The deafening blast startled the crap out of the tiger. Then, a massive crystal chandelier weighing thousands of pounds came crashing down from the ceiling, pinning the so-called king of the jungle. Solidly underneath it, the tiger was thrashing and roaring wildly from inside the wreckage, but it couldn't manage to break free. I just stood there, absolutely dumbfounded. Wait, does my curse of bad luck work on the animal kingdom now too? But I didn't have time to stand around amazed. I sprinted up to the second floor, getting there just in time to see that fat general trying to pin Lin Xiao against the balcony railing. Let him go, I roared at the top of my lungs. The general whipped around, trembling in absolute shock. How the hell did you get up here? Where is my tiger? Oh, your overgrown kitty was playing with the chandelier and got itself trapped. You wanna try your luck next? The general was absolutely furious. Go to hell, HMPH. The gunshot rang out. I instinctively closed my eyes. But there was no pain. Just a blood-curdling scream. I opened my eyes, only to see the general clutching his hand. Blood was pouring everywhere. The bullet had jammed and exploded right inside the chamber. The gun bolt flew backward, completely blowing out two of the general's front teeth. Sliced off half his ear in the process. The guy was rolling around on the floor in pure agony. He smashed into the railing, and tumbled down from the second floor like a bouncing ball, landing right downstairs. exactly next to the tiger that was trapped under the crystal chandelier. The tiger was furious with nowhere to vent, and it took a massive bite right out of his thigh. "Ah, let go, I am the general," his agonizing screams echoed through the sky. While the general was busy being tiger food, I pulled up a deeply traumatized Lin Xiao. "Let's go to the roof. Feng, are we going to die?" Lin Xiao was gripping my hand for dear life. "No." I looked out at the distant sky. I could hear the heavy thud of propellers coming our way. A few camouflaged helicopters were closing in. "It has to be the cops." Lin Xiao literally jumped for joy, but a dark sense of unease started creeping over me. If this was an international raid, they wouldn't be moving this fast. The choppers hovered over the villa, but the voice blasting from the megaphone wasn't in Chinese. These were local warlord gunships. "Listen up, everyone down there. Surrender immediately, otherwise, you will be shot on sight." Great, it was the general's backup. They were here to wipe us out. A rope ladder dropped down from one of the choppers. A squad of heavily armed soldiers started sliding down. "Feng, what do we do?" I stared down the barrels of those dark, empty guns, and suddenly started laughing. "Lin Xiao, do you believe in fate? I hate having a gun pointed at me more than anything in this world." I pulled something out of my pocket. It was a bottle of heavy-duty anesthetic I had swiped from the medical bay earlier. Still unopened, but I wasn't planning on using it as a weapon. I smashed the bottle on the ground. In that split second, a massive gust of wind suddenly roared out of the valley. This freak wind swept up the spilled liquid, and snatched up a bunch of bedsheets drying on the roof. The sheets whipped through the air, flying straight at the hovering helicopter. The giant sheets instantly slapped completely across the chopper's windshield. "Pull up, hurry." The pilot was completely blinded. The helicopter started swinging wildly, and the tail rotor clipped a massive, century-old tree next to it. Bang! The propeller snapped, the chopper totally lost control, and nose-dived straight into the armory next door. Boom! A mini mushroom cloud erupted into the sky. The massive shockwave blew half the soldiers who had just slid down right off the roof. The other half, still clinging to the ladder, plunged into a sea of flames along with the wreckage. The whole compound was shaking violently. The outer walls collapsed. The real chaos had just begun. I stood there on the roof, helplessly throwing my hands up. "See? I told you guys. Don't mess with me." The roaring fire lit up half the sky. The chain explosions from the armory completely wiped out the compound's defense system. Those thugs and managers who usually strutted around like they owned the place were now running faster than rabbits. "Feng, look over there." Lin Xiao pointed at the distant main gate. Several armored vehicles bearing the Chinese police emblem smashed right through the burning gates. At that very moment, the flashing red and blue police lights were the most beautiful sights I had ever seen in my life. "Freeze, Chinese police!" Their commanding shouts echoed over the explosions, and the SWAT teams swiftly secured the area. Those vicious scammers from moments ago were looking at the cops like they were their guardian angels. They were on the ground, holding their heads and bawling their eyes out. "Officer, please, arrest me, hurry up and arrest me. I'm guilty, I want to go to jail. Just get me out of this hellhole. That guy is a walking curse, he's an absolute monster. I want to go back home and face the law." They were practically trampling over each other, holding out their hands and begging to be handcuffed. Some of them even started fighting because there weren't enough cuffs to go around. I held onto Lin Xiao. As we limped our way out of the burning rubble, a young officer spotted me and froze for a second. "Zhang Feng? Yeah, it's me." I gave a weak nod. The officer stared at the absolute devastation behind me, swallowing hard. Did you do all this? If I told you it was an accident, would you believe me?" I let out a bitter laugh. The officer didn't say a word, but the look in his eyes was pure awe. Lin Xiao and I were loaded onto stretchers. Lying in the back of the ambulance, Lin Xiao grabbed my hand tightly, tears streaming down his face. "Feng, we made it. We actually made it out alive." "Yeah." I stared up at the ambulance ceiling, letting out a long, heavy sigh. The nightmare was finally over. The ambulance started its engine, slowly pulling away from the compound. But just when I thought the dust had finally settled, Lin Xiao suddenly stopped crying. He let go of my hand, pulled a wet wipe from his pocket, and calmly wiped away the grime and fake tears from his face. "Zhang Feng." His voice was dead quiet now. "You know, I didn't actually bring you here for you to save me." My heart skipped a beat. I snapped my head toward him. His eyes were completely cold. Then, Why did you? Lin Xiao's lips curled into a smirk. Because that idiot Master Wei was hogging the top spot while doing nothing with it. I've been planning to take over this compound for a long time. But I was missing a spark. Something that could burn this place to the ground. A fire that would let me wipe the slate clean. He stared right at me. And you were the perfect spark. I stared back at him, feeling a chill run down my spine. You're one of the bosses. My voice shook. You could say that. Lin Xiao ran a hand through his messy hair. Originally, I just wanted to use you to take out Master Wei, so I could step in and clean up the mess. But man, I totally underestimated your cursed luck. You literally wiped out my entire base of operations. He let out a sigh, sounding almost disappointed. But whatever, it doesn't matter now. Master Wei is dead, the general is dead, and every single shred of evidence just went up in smoke in that fire. I'm a helpless victim, and you're the hero. When I get back home, I'll be an absolutely innocent survivor. I'll take that clean money, and rise back to the top. But as for you, Lin Xiao suddenly leaned in close. A syringe had somehow appeared in his hand. You know way too much. It's better if you just die in the ambulance from severe injuries. A perfect ending, right? The tip of the needle was only a few centimeters from my neck, but I didn't dodge. I just looked at him quietly, my eyes filled with pity. Lin Xiao. You calculated everything, but you forgot one tiny detail. What? Lin Xiao paused. My jinxed aura has a trigger. It only works its magic on people who actually mean me harm. You used to be my brother. That's why my bad luck never put a single scratch on you. But now, I looked at him with absolute pity. Now you actually want to kill me. So, you're in the blast zone, too. Stop trying to scare me with that superstitious crap. He violently thrust the needle right at my neck. But at that exact second, the ambulance hit a massive pothole in the road. The whole van jolted violently. Crash. Lin Xiao completely lost his balance. He pitched forward, and the syringe in his hand, driven by momentum, plunged right into his own inner thigh. A full dose of lethal toxin was instantly injected into his system. Lin Xiao let out a blood-curdling scream. He ripped the needle out in sheer panic, all the color draining from his face. Ah, help me. He clawed desperately at my clothes. His eyes were completely wide with terror. The poison worked terrifyingly fast. In less than 10 seconds, he started foaming at the mouth. I just leaned back against my pillow, watching him with a resigned sigh. I told you, anyone who tries to hurt me always ends up dead way faster than I do. Lin Xiao's eyes went wide. He stared at me with pure shock, and took his very last breath. His body went completely stiff. Right up until the moment he died, he couldn't figure it out. How did he meticulously plan everything, only to lose to a stupid pothole? 3 months later, I was sitting in an interrogation room at the police station, giving my statement. The detective taking my statement looked at the report in utter disbelief. So, the entire leadership of the crime syndicate was wiped out. Boss Wei was electrocuted, the doctor was crushed by a surgical light, the general was mauled to death by a tiger. And the mastermind, Mr. Li, accidentally injected himself with a lethal dose of poison. And you walked away without a single scratch? I just nodded. Officer, I've told you over and over. I'm literally a walking jinx. The detective snapped his notebook shut. He looked at me with a very complicated expression. Mr. Zhang, there's a special department up top that wants to meet with you. What kind of department? The National Bureau of Supernatural Phenomena and Causality Defense. Honestly, using your condition to fight crime makes you a literal strategic weapon for the country. I guess you won't have to worry about finding a job anymore. I walked out of the police station into the bright, sunny afternoon. A stray dog trotted past me. It stopped, opened its mouth to bark at me, and immediately slipped, tumbling paws over tail onto its back. I looked down at it, and just burst out laughing. It looks like my legendary life is just getting started. As long as I keep fighting for justice. This misfortune is the sharpest sword in the world.